Extreme Rules has ended earlier today, and when I first saw this show and its match card, I did not think much of it. I thought this was going to be just another day in the office for these boys. It's not going to be that great of a pay-per-view, but some of these matches really changed my mind on what I thought this pay-per-view was going to be going into it. I thought this was going to be a bang average, B-rated pay-per-view, but it's elevated its game. There were a few minor things that bothered me, but majority of this pay-per-view was fantastic. So this episode we're going to go through every single match, give a rating and give what I thought about the match, and also I'd love to know yours. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's up everybody, it's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a WWE The Horror Show Extreme Rules match reaction, pay-per-view reaction. As I said before, give all the matches that went on the main card, give my opinion on it, and overall just talk about what a fantastic pay-per-view it was. It was really a good pay-per-view. So before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on, share the video and the playlist, and let me know in the comments below which match was your favorite match of today's event. It was, for many people, it's going to be a one match answer, but there were very good matches here. A bunch of good matches. Now, is it worthy of the name The Horror Show? I don't think it is, to be honest. There was very little Extreme Rules moments that really happened. So the Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre match was under Extreme Rules for one person, a tables match. Both women's matches were just one-on-one. There's not really much else. There was no United States Championship match, and obviously the Eye for an Eye was, oh my god, and the Swamp match, I don't really remember the name, but the Swamp match, there were some extreme moments, but I wouldn't say it's The Horror Show, but I understand why they named it that. But let's get into the first match, and it was for the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. It was the New Day, which involves Big E and Kofi Kingston versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in a tables match for the Tag Team Championships. This match was a great way to start off the show. Obviously, you trust the individuals in these matches. Fantastic individuals. They work together very well. And again, they only used tables, which was a bit of a shock. You'd think there'd be chairs and stuff involved, but only tables. And we got to see someone pull through a table. Who doesn't love that? That's what Extreme Rules is at the end of the day. We don't get to see table matches like this, or table matches at all, besides that one night of the year where you don't really see table matches on Raw or SmackDown. You don't really see Extreme Rules matches on Raw and SmackDown, no disqualification matches. You don't see much of that anymore. So when it comes around, it almost feels like it's a special occasion. And that's what it felt like. Now, the match itself, as I said, it was good, but I definitely think this was one of the weaker matches of the card, which is very surprising because this card was actually very good. Very good matches, very good quality matches. And in the end, the result was they took out Big E at the end of the match, and then Shinsuke helped grab Cesaro, and Cesaro powerbombed him through two tables, and that was the match. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are the new WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. What do you guys think of that? Was it too early for the New Day to just let go of the titles? To be honest, I do not mind this at all. I feel like Cesaro and Shinsuke are relatively underused for the quality that they have. I feel like Cesaro is underused throughout his entire career, and Shinsuke has not really kept the faith of that main talent type of player that he probably thinks, and most of us think that he has. So the fact that they are champions at any given time, no matter what championship it is, it's good because we're going to see them more on TV, more on the pay-per-view. They can finally create some stories. I want to see this rematch, of course. I wonder when Xavier Woods is going to return. That could be very interesting to see as well. But down the line, this is going to be, I think, a good thing for the tag team division. I think all four of these superstars are probably one of the best performers you could have in a ring together. So with them, with other rivals as well, maybe the Usos eventually down the line, things like this, you're going to see some great tag team matches, and that's all that I can ask for from the tag team division, which has been thoroughly devalued for many years now, and it's still going to be devalued even with Cesaro and Shinsuke as champions. I'm not going to say that this is the revolution, a new beginning. What I'm going to say is the least we could do is provide some good quality matches, and I trust everybody involved in that match to keep doing it going forward. This is a perfect example of what a good match is. Going into the next match, by the way, I should say I need to rank every match. So the match that I'm going to rank this is, I'm going to give it a B-. I thought it was a very good way to start the show. I do think it was one of the weaker matches on the card, to be honest, compared to all the other matches involved, but it was a fantastic match. It was a really good match. Going into the next match, Bayley versus Nikki Cross. Now, this was one of the matches where you kind of already knew the outcome. I don't think that you would have had Bayley lose to Nikki Cross, especially when Nikki Cross, this is basically her second title match, I believe. So, but the way that, at least for me, the way that things really get a match interesting is the way that the match starts. I am a sucker for a good start to a match because that keeps me drawn into the rest of the match, and then I can thoroughly enjoy my time watching all the outcomes, the story behind it. And this match started off really fast. Basically, it went from a couple of pushes into the turnbuckles like the normal. But all of a sudden, Nikki Cross hits her finisher, and like within the first minute, and it really caught me off surprise. Like, maybe this could happen. Maybe WWE are going for a surprise victory to stop Bayley and Sasha Banks becoming that that duo that holds everything. And that's what I was thinking going into this match. What if Bayley and Sasha Banks win? That's going to be very interesting. And in the end, of course, Bayley did retain, but this match was incredible. There were a bunch of fast-paced moves. This was a lot faster-paced match for Bayley than I've seen in a long time. Nikki Cross is super good in the ring. Like, seriously, she is incredible. And I was a bit surprised to see a match like this come out of her today, but I was really happy with this match. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I thought this match was better than the first match. So I'm going to give this match ranking a B. The winner, obviously, Bayley, retaining the WWE Women's Championship for SmackDown after getting the boss, I'm assuming it's gold hand thing. I don't know what it's called. It just punched her in the ribs. Did like a future shock kind of thing, or dirty deeds type thing. And Bayley retains the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Women's Championship. There you go. Very good match to keep things flowing from what was a good start to the show. Next up, and this was rather disappointing to me, but it's also very surprising. I'm intrigued now what they're going to do with this. So unfortunately, due to injury to his collarbone, I believe, Apollo Crews was unable to compete for the United States Championship. Obviously, this sucks big time. If this is a real story, if he's actually injured, this really sucks, because we all wanted Apollo Crews to succeed as the United States Champion, maybe potentially turn heel, but he's finally got that moment in the sun where he could go and thrive as the United States Champion, to actually get some TV time and to actually have people believe in him, have people be invested in him. This was his time to do that. Of course, it's not easy being the United States Champion, and for the majority of the time, it doesn't really do anything for you. But for Apollo Crews, who was barely on TV, to go and win this title, this was his time. This was genuinely his time to make a statement. And he didn't defend the title here. And MVP just walks out, has a little bit of fun, making fun of Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley to an extent. And he just said by forfeit, the United States Champion is MVP, and he just walks away. I thought for sure there was going to be someone that walks out and challenges him, like an Aleister Black, or maybe just anybody really. Maybe even Bobby Lashley would challenge him. I thought something would happen, but nothing happened. He literally just walked away, and MVP is the United States Champion. Now, being a retro WWE fan, seeing MVP as the longest reigning United States Champion at the time, it feels right for MVP to be United States Champion. It doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like he's been wronged or he's put in a position where he wasn't supposed to be. For me, it feels right that MVP is the United States Champion. It's just the circumstances behind it is really bad, and I feel sorry for Apollo Crews. And if the injury is real or not, hopefully things get better for him. yeah, look, I love MVP. Even now, I love MVP. I loved him back then. I love him now. I think he brings so much charismatic persona to the WWE that is missing, especially on Raw. There's not much real charisma on Raw besides maybe Seth Rollins and now MVP. There's a bunch of fantastic wrestlers, but charisma-wise, there's not much out there in the men's division. So at the end of the day, I have to rate this a C because it's not exactly anything special. It's not like it's going to get a 5-star promo. It is what it is. I think this was just... for me, this is also a main reason why Kevin Owens and Buddy Murphy had a match on the pre-show instead of the United States Championship, because I could bet you this match would have been on the pre-show. And since Apollo Crews is injured, they quickly just added this to the main card and just went off with it. And that's why that match for Buddy Murphy and Kevin Owens had to be on the pre-show to replace the events that happened, which is very, very sad, to be honest. I'm not happy about it. But of course, MVP as champion, I don't think anybody would be too upset with that. Going into the next match, Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio, an eye for an eye. And I was super cringed going into this match. Like, maybe because in real life, it's so uncomfortable having people hurt your eye or even just touch your eye. Like, it's so uncomfortable. So every single time anything happened with the eye, even though I know it's not real, but the fact that it's still like it's an eye for an eye match, it cringed me every time. When I saw an eye go into the steel steps, it cringed me. Like, I had to pause or I had to skip it. Like, I didn't want to watch it. But obviously I went back because I know, like, deep down I know. But still, it was gruesome. It was a good match. It was a great match. Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, very fast-paced the entire time. Good story. Rey Mysterio ripping out the left eye and seeing that there's no, like, eyeball there. He's like, look what you did to me. You made my family suffer. Obviously, they went fully invested in this match, and it was a great, great match. And even the ending of it with Seth Rollins puking. What the hell was that, bro? They went above and beyond in this match. So, yeah, look, it's very, very... It was a good match. There was chairs, kendo sticks. He brought a crowbar, I think, or like I don't know what it's called, but seriously, they thought of everything in this match. There was tables involved as well. It was a great, great match, and it was befitting of the horror show of the Extreme Rules. And for that match, sorry, I'm going a little bit blank here. For this match, I'm going to give a rating of I think an A-. I really thought this match was great. Yeah, it's probably the best match on the card besides the last match, which we'll get to. And yeah, I thought this was a fantastic way to go. And the winner was obviously Seth Rollins. Now, the thing is, I'm pretty sure he hurt the eye that was already injured. So Rey Mysterio should still have that right eye, or I'm not sure which eye it was, but the eye that was injured was the one that was being thrown into the steps. And the eye was out, and then Seth Rollins puked, and I thought that was hilarious that he puked. So yeah, in the end, this was the first match of its kind. It probably won't be a match that we see for an extremely long time ever again, maybe. But it was worth the watch. I do recommend you guys go watch this match. It was amazing. Rey Mysterio always puts on classics. Seth Rollins is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So these two together, it was a match made in heaven, and they have great chemistry, great storyline behind it as well. Now it's time to see what Dominic is going to do to avenge Rey Mysterio. If that's going to be a possibility. Will we see a Dominic match against Seth Rollins? All these things you don't know about. It's unpredictability at the end of the day. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe the rivalry just ends like this. We don't really know, but I'm very, very proud of this match, and I do recommend you guys go watch it. Next up, Sasha Banks versus Asuka. Now, many people, if they didn't watch this match, would just see the botches in the match and say that it wasn't great. But I thought this match was fantastic. These two women's wrestlers are probably the best wrestlers. Again, I say this with everyone, but I truly mean it here. These two are one of the best wrestlers in the world. Sasha Banks has been one of the best wrestlers in the world for a very, very, very long time. It's not only the moves that she brings to the ring, it's the attitude. And I feel like she knows this. If you like, I know she's meant to play a heel, and backstage she's very kind and stuff like that. But deep down, there has to be an element where she knows she's the best in the world, and she uses that as confidence. And she's a very confident person, and she shows that every single time she's in the ring. She's very confident. Even when there were botches in this match, there was still confidence, a willingness to recover, and all these things. And I thought this match was great. If you're looking for a pure wrestling match, not necessarily using tables or chairs or having a ladder match, which I personally think I would love to see these two in a ladder match, but in the end, if for a pure wrestling match, besides the ending, this was a fantastic match. So the ending basically was Bayley tried to interfere. Obviously, it didn't work out. Kairi Sane got the better of her and Asuka. Asuka actually put the mist in her mouth while the ref was distracted. She tried to use the mist on Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks ducks, hits the ref. Bayley ends up hitting Asuka behind with the title, gets the referee shirt on, counts out Asuka 1, 2, 3, and I guess Sasha Banks is the new Raw Women's Champion. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get more about this later on, but I feel like this match was just another way to extend the rivalry, because if this match has ended, then the rivalry is kind of over. So there had to be controversial things happening. I think Sasha Banks is the new Women's Champion. She walked out with the title, but there was no bell rung until Bayley forced it. The commentators were saying that she's not the champion, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I thought this was a great finish, to be honest, and I wanted to see Sasha Banks win this match anyway, because it brings more to the women's revolution or women's evolution if you have Bayley and Sasha Banks, the tag team, running both shows when they're basically on every show anyway. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want Asuka to win matches, but I feel like Sasha Banks would have been a good option to win this match. I still predicted Asuka because I feel like there's no way that they're going to do it at a show like Extreme Rules. Like, if they wanted Bayley and Sasha Banks to hold all the titles, you'd think it'd be at a SummerSlam or something like that. But they did it here. Now, again, I don't know if she's officially the champion, but I guess she is. And I'm very, very happy. Like, honestly, I can't deny it. I know people are upset. Everybody loves Asuka, but I can't see this as a bad result, to be honest. And I understand why people do. It makes Asuka look relatively weak, but it's not like she lost cleanly. It's not like it was a clean loss. So many things happened to her to the point where if she didn't lose, she would look like Roman Reigns. So, yeah, she had to win this match, Sasha Banks, with everything that happened. And she did. So, there you go. Next up, Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, the stipulation of this match was kept a secret for the entire time leading up to this match, and the stipulation was actually very, very interesting. So there were two stipulations basically. One, for Dolph Ziggler only, this was an Extreme Rules match. If Drew McIntyre used a chair or a ladder or stairs or tables or kendo sticks, he would be disqualified and Dolph Ziggler would be the new WWE champion. But also, if Drew McIntyre was counted out, he would lose the WWE championship. So this had all the stacks in Dolph Ziggler's favor. He had the entire world at his feet, and it was a good match. Again, when you see Dolph Ziggler on the card, you don't suspect it's a bad match. You always think Dolph Ziggler is going to have a good match. And these two tore the house down. Now, the Sasha and Asuka match, which I didn't give a rating for, I would probably give an A-. But this match as well probably deserves an A-. This was a great match. You had people, Dolph Ziggler doing elbows through a table. You used chairs to the knees, zigzags. Drew McIntyre was basically beaten to hell, and the ending for me is what got him, man. I marked very, very hard for this ending. So Dolph Ziggler, being the ultimate Shawn Michaels personality you could possibly ever want, he starts to tune up the band. He's going for the super kick. Drew McIntyre's down and out, looks to be gone, absolutely done out of this match. And all of a sudden, he kicks up and does a Claymore in a space of 2 seconds. It was like if you blinked, you missed it. What athleticism these people have, man. Just imagine me trying to do a kick up and do a Claymore within 2 seconds. Like, that would take me 40 minutes to actually accomplish, man. But they actually did this within, it was a great finish. I really enjoyed that. And obviously the winner, Drew McIntyre, is is still the WWE champion, and he holds his title high as he takes away Dolph Ziggler's moment to shine once again. Now, again, it's one of the situations I think everybody predicted Drew McIntyre would win this, but I would not have been upset if Dolph Ziggler won the title, because this rivalry could mean a lot more than just a one pay-per-view, then we never see him again. This could have meant a lot more, and I hope to see them keep going until SummerSlam, because seriously, these guys have great chemistry. They obviously have the history in the background, and these two know how to put on a good match. So why not keep this going? I don't mind seeing Dolph Ziggler being the WWE champion. I really don't. As much as I never thought that Bobby Lashley would win the championship when they versed, I wouldn't mind Bobby Lashley being the WWE champion. I feel like WWE are very, very selective with who they want to be the champion. And back in the day, there were a bunch of champions. So I don't mind seeing a Bobby Lashley or a Dolph Ziggler or Seth Rollins, like all these people that were dethroned by Drew McIntyre. Any one of them could have beaten Drew McIntyre and I wouldn't have been upset. And this was the same thing here. Now, Dolph Ziggler has a history of losing in the championship matches. And again, it sucks for him, but I really thought he brought the best out of Drew McIntyre and vice versa. This match gets an A-. And so far, the show's been fantastic, hasn't it? A great, great show. So, going into the last match of the night. What a match it was. It was Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in a swamp match. Braun Strowman is returning home to face the leader and the eater of worlds in Bray Wyatt. And this match, again, if you look at the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders match back in the last pay-per-view and how bad that was, and you look at this match, and both of them had relatively the same things pretty much going on. It wasn't an actual match. It was more of just a certain type of events, like a movie. This was so much better, way better. It was serious. Braun Strowman comes home to find his leader, his former partner, and to beat him and to finally put him to rest. And Bray Wyatt is looking at the person that he once created, he once shared a family bond with, and he's looking to have him back on his side. And it was a great element of two things happening here, but both of them meant so much. So obviously, Braun Strowman got the better of the match in the first few minutes. He beat up some random people. Then he's screaming, "Where's Bray Wyatt at?" Because Bray Wyatt disappeared at the start of the match. He wasn't really seen. Braun Strowman was beating a bunch of other people. And all of a sudden, gets hit in the back with a ladder. And then, for whatever reason, I don't know if this is going to be another thing that they keep on playing. If this is going to be I don't know. Like, there was another Braun Strowman, pretty much. The black sheep Braun Strowman rips off the mask, gets the shovel, and hits him. So, I don't know if that's Braun Strowman is just going to stay at the swamp and that's his home and he's not coming to the WWE. I don't know. It's obviously the same dude. If you guys are thinking that I don't know that, I know that. But it's a very interesting concept to have two Braun Strowmans. Like, that just truly means that Bray Wyatt actually created him. Like, he's not a human, he's a monster. And there you go. Like, that really gives a different definition for the monster among men. And then the real Braun Strowman wakes up, chained up. Bray Wyatt delivers one of the best promos I've seen in WWE's history. If honestly, if Hollywood calls Bray Wyatt, he would be an absolute success. That's what I believe. That promo was ridiculous. He is so good, man. Like, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt is the most interesting person I've ever seen in the WWE. Maybe besides The Undertaker. There's not much more that you could want from a character than what Bray Wyatt is giving to you now. He gives you quality matches, he gives you fantastic storylines, and he gives you tremendous delivery in his promos. The way he was speaking, it spoke to me, man. It's like Bray Wyatt really believes that Braun Strowman is not the enemy. He's not trying to fight Braun Strowman. He's trying to come together. And of course, Braun Strowman ends up getting bitten by a snake. And I don't know how seriously, if you get bitten by a snake, you're done. You're done, bro. You're not winning a match, bro. But he survives. He gets bloody teleported to a random place. where Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman continue to fight. Then all of a sudden, when Braun Strowman has the upper hand, there's a ghost, or for many people assumed was Sister Abigail. My opinion, I don't think this is Sister Abigail. It can't be. It just absolutely can't be. And it was actually Alexa Bliss. An illusion of Alexa Bliss and the history that Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss has. And it was tempting. It was tempting Braun Strowman to come home with Alexa Bliss there, saying, you know, you want to be together. We can make this happen. Come home, Braun, and we can be together. And Braun is walking like he's falling for it, but then he stops. And then the fight continues to go on. Bunch of fists come flying left, right, and center. Then all of a sudden, both of these people want to drown each other. So Bray Wyatt's trying to drown Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's trying to drown Bray Wyatt. In the end, the ending of the match, Bray Wyatt's like, look what you made me do. I didn't want to do this. He's standing up tall. Then Braun Strowman gets up like the monster that he is, and he throws Bray Wyatt into the, into the swamp. And that's it. Braun Strowman thought this was over. I had the little thing at the end that signified that the end of the pay-per-view was here, but WWE tricked us all, and it wasn't the end. And he got caught with the mandible claw. I don't know what he calls it, but the mandible claw. Braun Strowman gets thrown into the ocean, or into the swamp. The swamp turns red and it's bubbling, and that's it. The Fiend rises up and he says, "Let me in." And that was the final thing to see in this match. This match was so incredible. I don't do it justice by talking about it, by giving what happened. You have to watch this match. I'm giving the match rating an A. I don't think it was a perfect match. I feel like it was just it was magical, but like there was element. This is what I mean by there's no more personal stories, but with WWE. This was a perfect example of them proving me wrong. I mean this as much as I can with all my heart. I love when WWE uses its history to progress into the future. That's why I loved when the Shield broke up and then they fought together, because it had history. It had very, very good history as well. I loved this match because of its history, because I know I've seen what these guys have done with and against each other. This match meant a lot. It meant a lot, and it brought me a lot more excited that Braun Strowman is the Universal Champion. It makes me so much more excited to see Bray Wyatt, and not just the Fiend, Bray Wyatt himself. And honestly, these two have elevated the game on what it's like to have a match like this. Again, you looked at the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena, you look at the Undertaker's Graveyard match, and you look at this match. Honestly, I think they all come together to be one of the greatest matches we've seen this year. All of them. And Bray Wyatt seriously needs a round of applause. Braun Strowman did tremendous as well. I'm excited to see where this goes. Does Braun Strowman now team up with Bray Wyatt? That's what I want to see. I want to see these two team up. After all that Bray Wyatt said, just imagine Braun Strowman finally caves in, whether it's by his own doing or not, and he teams up with Bray Wyatt. What a beautiful sight that would be. But that is the pay-per-view. I'm going to give this pay-per-view rating an A. I thought this pay-per-view was tremendous, and the last three matches really, really, really brought the level up. I was so happy with this pay-per-view. I'd seen last month's pay-per-view, Backlash, I believe it was. There wasn't many great matches besides the last match, but this pay-per-view from start to finish, there were great matches, and I think there was less matches as well. They were trying to give time to the people that deserve the time. And of course, you'd like to see your favorites come here and there, but they gave more time to the matches, and the matches were better for that. So congratulations, WWE, for a fantastic pay-per-view. I think you've undone yourself with a pay-per-view like Extreme Rules, the horror show. It's honestly, Extreme Rules is one of the more exciting pay-per-views of the year, but it usually doesn't live up to the hype. This year, maybe the horror show Extreme Rules, the horror show, besides the last match and the eye for the eye match, it didn't live up to the moniker that it was given, but it was definitely a fantastic pay-per-view worthy of an A rating. That is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. What did you think about Extreme Rules? I'd love to know your opinion in the comments below. Have a wonderful and safe day. I will catch you with The Undertaker's last ride. Tales has a lot of stories to tell, and it's not the end of The Undertaker on this channel just yet. Take care and peace.